Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to today's session of Meet the Global Leader. So this webinar is actually organized by School of Entrepreneurship Development. It's a non-profit organization. So the objective of this webinar is to share the career journey or professional journey of an individual professional along with the students who are currently studying at the university, especially in Bangladesh, to give them an idea and insights about individual professionals' journey from their university life to the person there right now, their professional experiences, and like some advice for them how they can utilize their student life, their time, instead of wasting it. So today we have invited Miss Theresa. So she is basically the CEO of People Innovate, and to guide us through the topic, we would like to know a lot of, in brief about her experiences. She has extensive experience in online business, e-commerce, and strategic management. Notably, she was recognized as one of women in government tech in both 2019 and 21 by Gov Insider. Additionally, her leadership in innovation was acknowledged with the Thailand Innovation Leadership Award in 2021, and so on and so on. We're going to dive into that. So, Mr. So, welcome to our session.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very delighted to be here. Hello, everyone. สวัส
Great.
ดีค่ะ Hi, too.
So Dika, and like there's so many things to share. So if I continue about introducing yourself, so it will take maybe hours. So, welcome to the session. And can you briefly share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks so much. My name is Theresa. I'm Thai. I grew up here in Thailand. Actually, I was born in England, but just a baby, and then came back to Thailand. Grew up here, took high school, and here, and then I went to study in the States. So I got my bachelor and my master from the United States, from George Washington University in electrical engineering. And then I came back and worked in Thailand. So far, I think more than 25 years now. Worked both in the private sectors and also in the government sectors, half. Uh, I work in the tech space, innovations, e-commerce, technology related company. And now I just, founded my own company. It's a consulting company called People Innovate. We are transformation consultant. And just one more thing is that I also am doing my PhD now in innovation in humans and organization development, which is more social science. So shifted from
Great,
engineering to more social science now. Yes, that's
great.
just about in brief.
Great. I mean, so many things to learn. So, how was, if I take back to your university life? So, you
Okay.
have just mentioned. So, how was your university life, and what did you do apart from your study, and how was your time at the university actually shaped your career
Mm,
that you are pursuing right now? So, if you can shed some light on that.
okay. I need to, really think back because it's been a while. But talking about when I was doing my undergrads, right, and grad studies in the States, I think besides studying, which I was such I was a good student, I would say that. But besides that, I was doing first of all, I'm a Thai student. I was a Thai student, work studying in the States, so we have this Thai community group. So I work with that association of Thai students, basically more like secretariat of the association. So that's apart from studying, one would be association work, which means that you're doing a lot of collaborations, setting up activities, all the Thainess thing. And as part from that, I remember I was a tutor and a TA helping the professors in, part of some courses. Other than that, I was also working as a part-time, kind of part-time job, work in the library, work in a restaurant, work in a shopping mall or something like that. So doing many activities at the same time, from what I remember. And it was fun.
Right. Like sometimes, especially in a developing country, so
Mm-hmm.
students, some students actually tend to waste their time. Like the golden time, their
Mm,
student life. So mostly, like in social medias and hangouts, rather than like adapting or developing skills. Like based on the demand of the market. So
sure.
the thing is that like you did a lot of things apart from your study. So like you engaged with the people, with the community through your work. So how did those activities help you develop some skills, and what were
Uh-huh.
the skills, if you can mention some,
Sure.
through those activities you
I
developed during that time?
I understand. I think, I mean, when you grew up, right, and doing a college studies, it's the time, as you said, it's a prime time, it's a fun time, right? So I I remember that, from whatever that activity that you did, it's also taught me lessons. And first of all, I would think about work like creating activities, organizing projects, and that's project management. Even you just have to organize like a party, a cultural party, for example, right? Then you have to think about all the activity that you need to do, all the tasks, and then you have to manage other people who are your team that are not your, because you're just a student, right? So you have other people, other students that you need to work with. So that's teamwork, that's project management. You need to solve issues, and so that's problem solving. So these kind of skills are the ones that I think were very useful for me in order to grow up and use those kind of skills in my work. Uh, because it's basically the same skill in a way, right? But I mean, you were like problem solving. You were tackling small problems, but that's also a practice, right? Until you like get kind of more difficult problems to tackle with. So I would say that in those college times, what other activities that you can do besides studying, and you jump in and you kind of give yourself to that, and try your best, you would develop, more or less the skills that you would need in order to thrive in your careers or in your future.
Absolutely. And after graduation, um, how did you start your professional career?
Okay. Actually, I work in a government institute, which is a research. It's a big research institute in Bangkok, in Thailand, right? And so I work in different departments. Kind of, in a way, it's a big research institute, but I move around between departments, and that's kind of gaining my skills as management, as a trainee, management trainee as well. um, and I did not actually drive into engineering as technical, you know head. I was more on project management. I was more on talking to people. I was more on, collaboration. And those are the skills that I think needed in order to kind of moving up in terms of management position. But I did not, it wasn't like I was meant that I did not do a technical, but I guess maybe because of my other skill, human skills that help me, to manage other jobs or other position that those engineers does not want to work with in a way. So yeah, so I work in the research institute
Hmm.
as project manager in short, or business development, and then I move my way, out of that and work in the private sector as well.
Wonderful. And um, in brief, can you share, like, as a project, in project management, what were your tasks? I mean, some of the, if you share some of the tasks that you did during in that project management role, and the skill sets that is needed to like do good in project management. If you shed some light on that.
Okay. All right. I have, I think one of the skills that you need uh, everybody needs is project management, right? Because whatever task that you need to complete from start to the end, if you think about that as a project, then you need to be able to manage that project until it's complete and it reaches its objectives, right? So when you to just to explain, how project management work, you need to understand what the objectives of that project is, who are your stakeholders, who are the player in that project, being the team member, being the partner, being the clients, whatsoever. And you need to be able to I would say monitoring, right? You need to first plan the project, just understanding the task that the team or yourself needs to do, all the delegations of the work, and then you need to plan that within the time frame or the budget that you have, and monitor the task or monitor that whatever activities in the timeline. And that's quite a skill, right? Because you need to collaborate with people, you need to be able to follow them through, you need to monitor and evaluate if those tasks between periods, if you have phasing of the project, right, are finished according to plan. And then you need to solve problems, because along the way then you might have issues with that project, being any kind of problems, um, until you be able to finish it. And not all project we talking about, any type of project. It can be a project that you want to sell to the clients. It can be project that you do in your university or with the research institute. But whatever kind of projects, you need to be able to keep up with the tasks within the team. You need to manage the team, and you need to be able to solve issues so that the project and the completions of the task of everybody is completed on time. And those are very challenging type of skills, I think, that everybody needs in order to be able to understand the work and finishing the job. And it can be applied to any type of work as well. And you need that
Definitely.
as management. As
Yeah, yeah,
management,
yeah,
you
yeah.
definitely need that, right? Right.
Great. And we're going to, dive into how you have
Uh,
become a CEO and co-founder. So
okay.
apart from that, yeah, before that, given your extensive experience in various leadership roles, so what are your top three tips for fostering a culture of innovation within an organization?
What are the first, what, I'm sorry,
So
what are
if
the
you
three?
share like three advice
Oh,
for
three
or
advice.
suggestions
Okay.
for fostering
Okay.
a culture of innovation within an organization.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. Yeah, so let me also say that, I was in the past 5 year, I was a chief strategy of the National Innovation Agency of Thailand. I ended my term. It's an executive term that had its period. So I ended my term last year, and I founded my own consulting company, People Innovate. But during those time in the National Innovation Agency of Thailand, we work a lot with innovative organizations. We work a lot with innovation as product. We work a lot of, innovation mentalities, creating innovative leadership. Um, so within an organizations, I think first of all, we need to talk about leadership, right? Because leadership is the key in order to um, lead the company or the organizations, right, into the directions that they're, set their goal to. So I would say that have a focus and give importance to leadership within your organization. And that doesn't mean only the bosses or the C level, but we're talking about everybody, because leadership is the situations, right, of that you are into. It's the dynamic that that person have. It doesn't have to be that person has to be the boss or has to be like a manager, right? So once your team has enough leadership, then everybody has their own ownership of their job, right, of their task, and they can finish everything that they're set their goal to. And as part of the organization, then the organization would achieve the goals. So one would be that have give focuses on leadership, on developing leadership, on developing the skill of people. Second of all, uh, focuses or drive your company, you know, with technology or innovations, right? You cannot just do it without technology anymore. So just I don't know whatever the company is doing. I mean, what type of task or what type of business that the company is, but the company has to have a team or somebody that actually following technology. You need to be a technology uh, we would say technology or innovation driven organizations. You can use technology or you can create technology, it doesn't matter, right? And third of all, I think this actually comes to like a whole bigger pictures, which means strategy, right? You need to have good strategies for your organizations in order to be an innovative organizations or creating innovations. Without correct strategies or planning, because let me give example, right? A lot of SME, even in Thailand, they just want to do things. They don't want to think about it first, or not good. They don't have enough good enough plannings. When you're talking about running a big business, right? You need to have a good strategy, and then follow through that strategy, and then shifted or adjusted that strategy in order to be able to follow through, because not all strategy is the same. I mean, it's not one strategy that you can just use for 5-10 years, right? You need to adjust it along the way because of all these changes, externally, internally, but at the same time you need to plan ahead. So I would give a lot of emphasis on strategies of the company.
Definitely. And you have mentioned a very important point, which is ownership. You mentioned just so. Sometimes people think, oh, I work for that company. So in terms of professionals, I work for this company. So like I'll just go in the morning and come return home in the evening. That
Right.
is it. I will just do my clerical tasks, and the company will be take care of me for the rest of my life, my entire generation,
Okay.
and goes on. But the
Okay.
main thing they they forget is, like a company. It's a like an artificial entity. So it's a robot, if like I say it in a metaphorical way. So
Mm-hmm.
it cannot it be emotional. So if I fail to provide like requirement as per the company needs, like I will not survive. So the problem is ownership. Even if like say for example I'm in a role, so if I don't have the ownership, if I don't own it, like I will not deliver effectively.
Right.
So this is the point. It's for everyone, for students, like who are currently in the universities. they,
Mm-hmm.
they have to own their study. So their main task, key duty is to study. So if they
Uh-huh.
do not don't if they do not study, if they do not develop skills, if they do not own their profession,
Sure.
and then it will impact in their future career. So this is the thing, ownership in our personal life, in our professional life. This is very important. So we some maybe it is in our subconscious mind, but we have to shift it to our conscious mind, and we have to follow it, like, well, we have to be responsible for what we are
Right.
assigned to do. So this is very important. And the two point you particularly mentioned, leadership and focus on innovation. So this is very important, and we sometimes we again forget, sometimes people say leadership, a leader, it's a very difficult, it's a complex thing, but it's very simple, right? In our day-to-day life we're leading a lot of things. So that is definitely true.
Right. Right.
So
And
like looking, yeah, yeah, please.
yes, just to add on when you talk about ownership, because with ownership, then you have the accountability, right? Once you show your accountability, then people would trust you, and I just want to point that out, right? And you can, I mean, when I'm talking here, because we are in a school of entrepreneurial development, right? I'm thinking about student life. I'm thinking about what you think when you were students, and I think, of course, when you were young in college, maybe you don't feel like you have a lot of responsibility, but being
Exactly.
just studying is your responsibility, just so the mentality that I think I had, or along the way, is that you own whatever you do, right? It's your brand, it's your identity, it's your personality. So even studying, I'm a very good student, by the way. I was a scholarship student. So I would feel like whatever you do, just do your best, right? Do your best, own it, and give it your best shot. And once you do that, then you will see the result, right? Because you already done your best, whatever result it is, even though it's not as good as you hope it to be, but you learn from that, and then next time you're doing better. I mean, that's how people develop, right? So, and you use the same mentality when you work, whatever task you have. Even though I've been an employee for 25 years, I just own my own company now. I mean, I've done a lot of
Yeah.
other size project or other businesses, but I was always an employee. And being an employee was, it's also good, right? You have like a big corporate or company to work with, to collaborate with. But once you own your work or your task or your position or whatever your goal or your, let's see, whatever that the company has given you as your responsibility, and you own that, and you have your entrepreneurial, we call entrepreneurial leadership, or you are accountable for that, and you deliver your best, and that will follow you through, and people would trust you that you deliver, and they would give you a more challenging task, and that's how you success.
Keep.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's very simple in a way, right?
Yeah.
um
So you
right.
would like to know in brief about your experience as
Mhm.
a general manager for Thai Business Incubators and Science Parks Association. So the task of that association. So because we try to know, like how this kind of association can, thrive or foster entrepreneurial spirits, or this kind of support, how it is going to foster entrepreneurship in the country or in the community. And as a general manager, what were your roles you had and impact you created through that association?
Okay. Yeah. So in brief, the association you're talking about, it's what we call, science park and incubator association. So in associations that have its member who are university in Thailand, or back then I would say it was maybe 15 to 20 years ago. So back then, Thailand were not very familiar with even startups or incubations, right? So it started from the government side. So the research institute or the government would started all this type of training and mentalities of incubation, technology business incubation. So the associations are collective of university incubator in the beginning, and we were talking about tech business startups, where the university professors have their IP, have their researchers technology, and trying to spin off as a commercializations project or business. The associate, as a general manager, so you kind of being the middle guy who matches the knowledge of people in the industry, being mentors from from corporates like a big conglomerates in Thailand, or a professor in university or other countries, and then matches tied up knowledge and training to these incubators, and also the incubatees who are the startup founders or startup CEO. And so you kind of be the matchmaker in terms of knowledge, in terms of trainings. You help them found the company. You would collaborate with all those government departments, like the department that you register for the company and doing it taxes, accounting, and things like that. So that's kind of legal part. But at the same time, you're trying to provide mentalities, knowledge to the university that, for developing country, back then we don't have a lot of spin-offs. It's not like in the US, in Silicon Valley, or in, in Europe, right? So in developing country like us, back then we need to give a lot of push from the government, that the researchers, research in the university or in research institute can be mapped with the private sectors and commercialize those research into a company that, but then these people are researchers, they're technical people, they don't understand about running a business. So that's where the incubator, the association comes in and help them, kind of training them to be a businessman. If otherwise, then you match another business person from the commercial, from the private sector to come in and help. Yeah.
Understood.
So
And
now
how,
this association has been more than 10 years. There, my colleague is running it. Uh, they have developed a lot of schemes in order to help, a lot of pitching program, a lot of collaboration with other countries, funding, and also the type of business matching. So also standardizing what should I say,
mm,
capability building and standardizing people in the incubator, so that they have enough capability in order to incubate and understanding the business sector.
great. Looking back, what early experiences or role models instilled in you the desire to become a CEO?
Okay. um I don't have a role models that, those people who are famous or celebrity or things like that. My role models in actual life were my female bosses. Like I work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of, I so-called bosses, right? So my boss, a couple of my boss were more senior. There were professors, but they were also management executive, and I found that, I look up to them uh, because they have the right leadership for me. They can manage, the what we say, the work side or the technical side, but they can also manage people. So the balancing of work and people is very important for me. Like, working through my career, I've seen a lot of leaders, a lot of people in positions, and that's why I'm like very keen in studying about leadership and things like that, and developing in terms of people as well. So I have my passion in developing people because I think that that's very important. So these females bosses, I don't want to, they're not famous people. I mean, they are, in a way, people in our community, but I look up to them because I've seen how they think, I've seen how they manage, and I admire them for that. I feel that they can manage work well, but also manage people, and people love, I mean, as a employee who have them as bosses, they're, I look up and I admire them, and I want to be like them, because I feel that it's not about being famous, it's not about being rich, it's about how you actually lead people. It's how you make changes in the community or the society, something like that. Yes.
Definitely, definitely. Like the mindset is very important, and sometimes people say you don't work for the title, you work for your what you are passionate about. So it is really true. Like after a while, when people forget about title, that I don't care about the title, and they work on really what they're passionate about. Actually, like great things happen. So title will follow that person. Like run after that person automatically. So
Right.
did you always envision yourself? So before that, tell me about the journey of founding and being the CEO of People Innovate, about your company, what it does, and like how it is creating impact in the country.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so People Innovate is a company that I and my co-founder, we founded this company last year, and let me kind of, follow through and you go through how this journey has become. And I think it's the biggest kind of decisions that I make last year. uh, I have been working in Thailand for 25 years or more than that, right? I have worked both in the government sectors, in private sectors. I have worked both in for Thai companies, small company, conglomerate level, or international company as well. And I have, you know I have at least about 4 or 5, C-level positions. So I think have a quite enough experience to see, how organizations does. I have worked in different functions of the organizations as managers, as C-level. Um, so I understand how the organizations work. We're talking about, regular organizations, how it runs, how it functions. Um, and I also have worked in the government sector, so I understand how the strategy, national strategy, is, how we would develop the country, how this journey of the country has been going in terms of tech and innovations. So at this time, I feel like with my experience, with my team experience, we can help contribute back to the community or the society. I feel like we can still do more in Thailand. The company itself, we position it as transformation consultant because we understand strategy level. We understand, we have people that are good in sales and marketing, online and offline. We have, I am also keen in strategy. In organizations business strategy, and also I am now working more on people and culture. And I think with this we can help with organizations in Thailand, being the small, medium, or large organizations, in order to drive their business with innovation or technology, and also to function as innovative organization. Because we have realized, we meaning, the society, the academic part, we already know that a company within itself, even though it has good product, even though it has innovative products, but with one product, but without the company that are adapting and changing all the time, then one product would not stay, might not stay forever in the market, right? So you need to develop the organization as a company or as a whole as innovative organizations, and that meanings different functions, the leadership, the leaders, the strategy, the process, the support system, people issue, right? Or how do you manage all that? And that's how we want to help in terms of, contributions to the society, or we call it ecosystem, right? And I work a lot with other international partners. We want to help in terms of people transformation as well. I think that, in this era of AI, when you go to the tech seminar, this year or even last year, we talking only about AI, nothing else. It's about
Yeah,
AI in
yeah,
different functions, AI in
yeah.
every sectors. So we are in this AI era, or even other technology in the futures. And I'm also work I was I'm also a foresight expert, because we use a lot of foresight technique in terms of doing strategy. So, in the near futures, with all these technologies, you need to really develop people that would be able to work in this AI era, right? You need to work with machine. You need to be able to create the technology, and you need to utilize technology to your advantage. And people had to be in another level to my to my thinking. We need to develop ourselves to be able
Yeah.
to work in this, future of technology, and be able to grab all this benefits of technology, to the fullest of its capability, and that would support us.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's really good. Great, I have to say that the way you are creating impact in the country, in the community, and also the thing that you mentioned, this is very important, like for students as well as CEOs, other professionals, to keep that in mind, that what is coming next and how we can, as an individual, cope up, like students, professionals. with that upcoming trend, skills, demand of the skills. It's very important. Sometimes, like students, when they hear, some students, when they hear about big data, when they hear about artificial intelligence, they find it very complex. Like before studying or knowing about it, they find it, oh, it's so difficult, it's so complex, it's machine stuff like that, rather than studying or start studying about that. That is the very like big mistake, I would say, for especially for students, that even the professionals, the things that are coming, the technological advancement, the AI and other technological advancement, if we don't start now about it is interesting, like the future, what is machine or AI, what is coming, to know about it, and the beauty or impact it is going to create in the human life. It's very important to know. So like they should keep an eye on that. Throughout your impressive career, you have tackled the diverse leadership roles. So can you share a specific challenge you faced and the lessons you learned from it?
Okay. A lot of challenges. Everything um let's see. I think, well, first of all, I think that, you need to, let's see. I want to reframe this, right? I think that one of my good traits, that I have used, or I have been during my career, during my job, during even my personal life, in the family, raising my child, uh, is that I love talking to people. I like to understand people. And that becomes a challenge as well, right? Because people are the one that you cannot even predict. So um, a lot of challenges that I face would be about, managing people, like managing teamwork, managing conflict within the team. And once you're doing that, like solving conflicts within the team a lot, then you understand how people work, and you understand how would um, manage people so that they get what they want, but at the same time deliver, the mutual tasks or mutual objectives of the work, even my own company or in other company that I work with. So yeah, I mean, most challenging things are people, and that's how, a lot of engineer would say as well. That's why they want to work with the machine, not work with the people. But I love working with the people. I mean, to me it's fascinating to understand people, because we have so many
Yeah,
different type of thinkings. But other challenge would be work wise, and work wise, I think everything else can be managed, right? Once you are a problem solver by nature, you become that person that you can, once you have your goal, your objective in the back of your mind, you would try to find your way to get to solve that issue or problem. So but that needs practice. I mean, once you solve too many problems, smaller problems into a bigger problems, then you develop that skill. So work wise, I don't feel that, I am afraid of any problems in terms of work, right? But with people, you still need to practice every day, right? And
yeah,
use your leadership in order to manage people, to do the task. At the same time, they need to be happy, you need to be happy, everything is mutual. And that's the biggest challenge, and I think that's the most important for people in the next generations, right? Because we need to manage things quicker within a very short time frame. You need to be able to be a good collaborator with, your team and people that you work with.
definitely. And as you just mentioned, leadership. So, according to you, what leadership style do you find most effective in building a successful and collaborative team?
Okay. Well, actually doing my PhD on this. But I mean, I think it's a combinations. If you're talking about the in terms of theory, we would talk about transformational leader. transformational leadership, which means that people who can, kind of make your team follow, and change and transform them. But also you need entrepreneurial leadership, right? As I said, ownership of the things, or having business acumen, thinking about how to create a business, thinking about creating new stuff. Uh, I am also doing my study in innovative leader, because innovative leaderships for me, meaning that you kind of in the back of those leaders, they have the feel that they need innovations, they need to create something new, and this go to startup CEO as well. So it's a combinations of different things. Of course, you need to be a charismatic leader, you need to be an empathetic leader. So it's not one thing or the other when we're talking about leadership theories, right? There are so many.
Yeah.
uh, but one person is not one leadership style. One person might be a major in one leadership style, but then they have different other angles of other leadership style as well.
Mm,
I did not answer you truly in terms of one leadership style, but I would feel that you know
definitely.
it's a combinations of many leadership styles that you need in order to succeed.
Definitely. And also, like when people, like care about a lot of this kind of leadership styles and terms, just to make sure it's not a one day job. So throughout, so many professional experiences you possess or develop this kind of styles and skill sets. So uh, it's a long process. But the thing is the consistency that you are making through that. Uh, how do you, as a CEO, approach attracting and retaining top talent in the competitive tech and innovation space?
Okay. I think I just give a talk about this yesterday.
Oh, okay.
In terms of organize, there's many level when we're talking about this, right? First of all, as leader, you as leader, you need to be first as a leader of the organization. You can be a CEO, you can be at the C level. Uh, you need to be able to transmit your leadership into your team, right? In terms of developing leaders within the team, in terms of being a good example in whatever that, whatever you say or you preach, you need to be that. Um, but at this, that's kind of individual level, right? Once you don't have good enough leader, starting from that, then your team would not, you cannot like kind of retain them because you don't have good leaders or leadership in the team and in the company. But more than individual level, then it's a company level. I think it's about taking care of the well-being of your employees, and that goes into all the HR development and talent scheme development. But most importantly is the culture, because I think that tech talents, they are not only attracted to just a challenging job or just good pay, good salary, or good incentives, right? They are challenged, but they also need to be in a good culture environment, that they feel that they can innovate, they can have open innovation, they can talk to people, they can raise their opinion. And that's kind of a culture that you want to create. And when you think about tech company, global tech company, they would transmit that vibe, right? Like a kind of an open technologist feel of it, so that people can thrive and can show their like maximum potentials within that organizations, but without or accepting failures, or having mechanisms so that people can generate ideas. And that's culture in a way. That's kind of culture development. Without those culture development, you would just only have a tech guy coming in, having good salary, and they would just work for you for one or two project, and that's it, they're out, because they don't feel that they can be themselves, yeah, in the organizations.
Definitely. So we are almost at the end, but just two questions to go. There's so many things to learn from you, and like I said, uh, experienced person like you. it will take hours, to know the like the things that you have learned, but we'll try to make it short. In your view, what are the key trends shaping the future of innovation, particularly in Southeast Asia?
Okay. Uh, I mean, the basic that you already talked about is that people has to keep up with technology, right? So that's the basic. But I think what we really need to focus or develop in our people, or in ourselves as individual, or as students, I would say two main trait or two main skills, right? One would be critical thinking, because it's when you talk about critical thinking, it's very difficult to define, right? It's difficult to
Yeah,
understand. Basically, it's how you dissect the issue or dissect the whatever the topics, right? And how you manage judgment, make a judgment of it, right? How so one would be critical thinking. I think that works with I mean, that's a skill set that you need with everything in life, to understand what's right and wrong, what kind of decision you would make. And another skills would be problem solving, as I said before, right? But that's kind of how you handle the problem, handle the issue. That's why people said once you have big issue, then you have a big success, a big problems, right? You have small issue, you have small success. So become good at problem solving, whatever kind of problem it is. And it doesn't have, once you solve the problem, it doesn't have to be a perfect solution, but you would understand the optimals or the maximizing of that issue is, right? I mean, maximizing result of that issues, and then you would develop the skills in order to tackle next issue or next problem. Yeah, so my answer would be critical thinking and problem solving, and I think that works
definitely.
with
And
everything.
in any type of advancement in the history of mankind, these two things will, sustain all the time, and it is no one can, copy that thing. Critical thinking and problem solving. This
And
is
when
all
you, yes, exactly, when you want to create innovations, right? We're talking about tech, we're talking about innovation, and you need those skills, right? Once you understand the pain point of customer, the pain point of whatever it is, of that related sectors or technology, then you go into problem solving mindset in order to create that innovations that you want to tackle.
great. So you've been to like so many conferences. I bet that you hear that questions a lot. But according to what advice would you give to entrepreneurs and aspiring innovators in Southeast Asia who want to make a difference?
Okay. I think it goes back to what you just said in the beginning, or what we said in the beginning, is that what is your passion, right? Once you have, I mean, find your passion and find whatever that you really want to, that it clicks with you, right? It's kind of tackle your core system. Like, once you understand your passion, and once you have your passion and you follow through that, turn that into commercials or business, um, you would stick to that. And that's another thing about entrepreneurship, right? Because you need to have your resilience, you need to have your um, toughness in order to tackle the difficulties of creating or founding a company, or founding that innovations, and finding funding, and finding partners and clients. um, but I would say that have understanding your passions and work with that passions in order to create a business, and do something that you love. And once that you love what you do, then you do it well.
This is absolutely amazing that you've
Right.
mentioned. So
Let
just
me
before,
add on
yeah,
just a little
yeah,
bit that but with that passion, then you need to have. I think with even Bangladesh or Thailand or any other countries in Asia that we have right now, we have such a rich ecosystem for entrepreneurs. Now you can seek mentor, you can seek incubator, you have a lot of help. I mean, I don't mean that you just have passion and do it on your own. I'm just saying, I just want to add on it. You have your passions, have your objectives, and then seek help, or finding your network and work with those network, to thrive.
Exactly. Especially if we don't know what we need and how to maximize the resource available, locally, globally, is very, very important because the thing that you mentioned, that seek help. If I don't know where to seek help, or how to seek help, or even whether I need any help or not, to realize that I have to explore the sector, I have to know and keep going. So this is very important. So sorry about the last question. uh, as a CEO, people have misconceptions about the life of a CEO. That's when people reach to the the designation, and like as a CEO, they just spend a lavish life. They have so many. They have a lot of money. They get a lot of salary, and they live. They are leading a very wonderful life. They don't have less tension. All the work are done by the employees. So, how do you see it? I mean, the life of a CEO, being a CEO, what is actually the pressure and the
I understand what you
responsibility?
mean. Exactly. I think when we were young, right? When we start working as a first jobber, that's how we feel. We thought that the CEO having just not doesn't have to do anything, go play golf and party
Definitely.
and yeah. But now, once you actually work in the field and you understand how it does, every CEO, it doesn't matter if it's small company or big company or large. If you even a CEO as an employee, right? They have worked their through, and their difficulties and their challenges and their failures along those years until they become a CEO. Okay, but as CEO, of course, you might have some success already that you can, kind of, how should I say, live some of those rewards. Let's just say reward. Being, a CEO would have high salary. A CEO would have, good support from the company and things like that. Like have a company car. So that's part of the reward. But as CEO, right? I think that and the way that we act, or the CEO act, like I'm so much different from what you just said, because I have a small company. We are consultant. We don't have like, we're not that like big conglomerates. But even when I was a C level in the companies, right, that's how people see us, right? But my point is that the CEO have worked their way through. They have done a lot of failures, a lot of challenge. They have fight themselves through all those challenges until they become the CEO. But at the same time, once you are at the CEO level, you have handled enough difficulties so that you don't even show it, that you are worried, that you are suffering, or that you are stressed. Some CEO are very good at managing stress. Like I myself, I think that I'm not like trying to, praise myself, but I think that one of the things that people compliments myself is that, I can handle stress very well, because I don't feel that it's very stress. I mean, I feel that you have issues, you have problem, you just have to tackle it, right? It's not like the end of the world. And then you have this options of tackling those issues in your mind already, so you're not that worried. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I mean, you have your toughness already to manage stress and manage worriness. But at the biggest issue is that the CEO has a lot of responsibility. They just have internal responsibility to handle the company, to achieve the profit and loss, that for the stakeholders who are shareholders, for example, or the board of directors.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of responsibility that the CEO have to tackle. So that's the misconceptions. Yeah.
Exactly, and it is maybe as an employee we can have a sound sleep at night. Sometimes maybe CEOs, they have some a sleepless night a lot. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But okay, I just want to add in. I know we are short of time, but I just want to add
Yeah.
in that, like, to me, everybody or every level of the company have their own, um, how should I have their own level of stress. have their own
Yeah.
level of responsibility, have their own level of importance. So we value, I mean, a good leader would value everyone, because everyone is one, one mechanism in order to complete that organizations, right? So you don't need to be jealous of the CEO. The CEO would not be jealous of you. Everybody just do their part, and
Do
once
their
you do
part. Yeah.
your part right, then everything would go according to the plan. Yeah.
And also another thing, there is it's not like that after graduation you just become the CEO. So there is a process and a lot of steps you had to go through to be that person you are right now. So this is the thing, like sometimes when students are in the university, they are dreaming of starting their own business, and directly, like from the day one they want to, like do profit, like $1 million, $1 billion, without knowing it. And the day one they want to be the CEO, like head of marketing or head of, stuff like that. But what actually, how to start, like we start from, like class 1, class 2, our education, when we start our like student life. It's not like directly we went to the college or high school. So this is the thing we have to learn from our life. Think the day will come what we dream of, but there is a process for that. Stelsa, thank you so much, like for your wonderful session. It was so engaging, and so many good things and new things we have learned from you. And like the objective of this webinar is to give a very brief, like idea about professional lessons and journey, so that students, they can understand that the importance of developing skills, and like importance of doing study, not only the academic like part, but also some other things that can help them develop some new skills or sharpen their skills, existing skills as well, and to broaden their mindset and attitude. So thank you so much. On behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, we'd like to, say thank you, and wishes you very best of luck for your future endeavors. And in future, would like to, like invite you in Bangladesh. You're invited to Bangladesh. Would like to have sessions like that in person in the universities. Yeah, and whatnot.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Thank you.
you, and have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you.